The former executives responsible for Moviepass's downfall have pled guilty to securities fraud and conspiracy to defraud investors. Let's take a look at the Justice Department's press release, as well as review a little bit of the legal issues that were facing Theodore Farnsworth and J. Lowe. A Florida man pled guilty today in the Southern District of Florida to charges of defrauding and conspiring to defraud investors in two public companies. Theodore Farnsworth, 62 years old, of Miami, engaged in schemes to defraud investors in Helios and Matheson Analytics, a publicly traded Florida and New York-based company that was the parent of Moviepass. From August 2017 through March 2019, Farnsworth and his co-conspirators made materially false and misleading representations relating to their businesses to artificially inflate the price of stock and attract new investors. Farnsworth repeatedly lied to the public to artificially inflate these companies' stock prices. He concealed that Moviepass subscription model was a money-losing gimmick and falsely claimed that HMNY used artificial intelligence to monetize subscriber data, among other misrepresentations. Farnsworth's plans and promises for Moviepass seemed too good to be true. They were, in fact, part of a securities fraud scheme. As he admitted today, Farnsworth's ploys and boasts were actually lies and misrepresentations designed to boost stock prices. Moviepass was a privately held company that offered subscribers a certain number of movie tickets per month for a flat monthly fee. HMNY acquired a majority ownership interest in Moviepass, after which they introduced a new unlimited plan that purported to allow new subscribers to see unlimited movies in theaters with no blackout dates for a flat monthly fee of $9.95. They falsely claimed that this unlimited plan was tested and sustainable and would be profitable or break even on subscription fees alone. However, Farnsworth knew that the unlimited plan was a temporary marketing gimmick to attract new subscribers and, in turn, artificially inflate HMNY's stock price and attract new investors. In reality, Moviepass lost money from the unlimited plan. In addition, Farnsworth also falsely claimed to possess and use big data and artificial intelligence capabilities to generate revenue by analyzing and monetizing the data Moviepass collected from subscribers. But Farnsworth knew they did not possess these capabilities to monetize the subscriber data and had not incorporated any such technologies into the Moviepass application. Then he also made false and misleading representations about the positive impact that multiple revenue streams would have. He falsely claimed that the costs of these goods, quote-unquote, was naturally declining when it was not. So he pled guilty to one count of securities fraud and one count of conspiracy to commit securities fraud. He faces a maximum penalty of 20 years in prison. I was a Moviepass member, and I liked my Moviepass, and I didn't abuse it. But if you remember this, if you were there for this, it was unbelievable that you could spend $10 a month and go to unlimited movies. We would later learn that Moviepass had no deals with AMC or other movie chains to discount the price so that Moviepass would at least break even. They weren't selling candy at the movie theater like the movie theater does. They weren't doing anything else. So what were they going to make money off of? And I really don't know what the plan was. It seemed like maybe they were going to be successful and then try to ride the wave of success and figure it out later, when what they really needed was to properly price the thing so that they could find the best price that would allow the thing to be sustainable. And if there wasn't a price that would allow it to be sustainable, then you can't do it. Then that's not a good business idea. But at the peak of the thing, I remember once they realized how much money they were losing and that they weren't going to be correcting this problem anytime soon, they started trying these mitigation efforts. They reset people's passwords. They required you to show the ticket, like take a photo of the ticket and send it in. There were other little things here and there that they did. There's more of this in the actual indictment because the guy pled guilty. You don't plead guilty and get a document that says everything like you do normally in like a judgment or something like that. So what we need to read is the charging indictment to see what he was charged with. I'm not going to go over the whole thing. I'm going to pick out the highlights for you. Let's take a look. Here's the indictment from 2022 against Teddy Farnsworth and Mitchell Lowe. On or about August 15th, 2017, at the direction of Farnsworth and Lowe, HMNY issued a press release announcing that they had agreed to acquire a majority ownership in Moviepass. They also announced that they would launch a new nationwide subscription program that enabled new subscribers to see unlimited movies with no blackout dates for $9.95 a month. The rationale was increased shareholder value by using big data and artificial intelligence. They caused numerous press releases on behalf of HMNY and Moviepass to be disseminated through Business Wire, raising hundreds of millions of dollars from debt and equity offerings. Farnsworth's compensation was based in part on the sale of these securities. He negotiated a $1 million bonus for his role in raising capital up to that point, and a $1.5 million bonus for completing offerings of HMNY securities totaling $190 million in gross proceeds since mid-December 2017. They also got multi-million-dollar bonuses based on milestones tied to the stock price of HMNY. So I guess there's your motivation for the fraud scheme. In the course of negotiating the acquisition, they proposed the unlimited plan. Okay, now for the crazy idea. I would like each of you to tell me why this is a bad idea. I want to change our one and only pricing model to $9.95 per month. A movie a day. Try it for free for either 2 weeks or 1 month. Please, no reason to tell me how much money we would lose. Believing the HMNY stock price was tied to the Moviepass subscriber count, they launched the unlimited plan as a marketing gimmick to attract new subscribers and increase the price of HMNY stock. In response to questions about whether it was too good to be true, they said the plan had been tested and was profitable and sustainable when in fact they knew it was not. Lowe, we have figured out a way to give people a deal where they cannot believe we can even afford to give. Yes, because you lose money. No, we actually don't. How do you not lose money? We have built a system that attracts people, a price point that attracts people that only go 3 to 6 times per year. Of course, if you remember, people were going to movies every day, sometimes multiple times a day. Not saying everybody did that, but some people were doing that, and that's going to... You have to account for that in your business model. Find a way to control it. Farnsworth doubled down on this strange pricing model explanation. Moviepass has been around for 5 years and we have a wealth of historical data. At $39 a month, the average customer would go to 4 movies a month. At $29, the average dropped to 3 movies. At $19, the average customer went to 2 movies a month. So we think we can be profitable on the subscriptions at $9.95 and make real money from the additional revenue sources. The size of our customer base will give us a lot of leverage. Yeah, so that was the other thing. They thought that they could use a large subscriber base to leverage deals with the movie theaters after the fact. And they didn't do this before. They did it after. And AMC didn't take the deal. And instead, AMC came up with its own unlimited movies pass thing. And I do remember I ended up joining that for a little while afterward and enjoyed a bunch of movies until, well, I don't live in America anymore. October 6, 2017, Lowe emailed the team to request everyone's feedback on removing theaters who charge above $12 or $13. The response, tricky situation. This creates a few different issues. It removes the top theaters in the large markets, New York, LA, DC, San Francisco, etc. Then we get into the press publicity aspect of it. Basically, you would give AMC validation that they were right all along, that this is not a sustainable project, and it completely kills any credibility we have left. They continue to double, triple down on the $9.95 price point not being a problem, and which, of course, the Justice Department charged, and they admitted these representations were materially false and misleading. Then they decided to pretend to raise the price to $15 a month, and then they didn't do that. It was all a ploy just to artificially inflate the stock price. They also made false and misleading statements about their ability to use artificial intelligence and analytics to profit from the data somehow. You know, selling data to marketers or something, since they have data about your behavior. Quote, we get an enormous amount of information because you are being tracked in your GPS by the phone. Our patent basically turns on and off our payment system by hooking that card to the device ID on your phone. So we watch how you drive from home to the movies. We watch where you go afterwards so we know the movies you watch. We know all about you. After the interview, when it was pointed out that tracking subscribers violated Moviepass's privacy policy, a media backlash ensued. March 7th, 2018, they put out a press release. It is a mystery to me why so many people are surprised that HMNY and Moviepass are using data to innovate the movie industry. For months we've been hearing, how does Moviepass plan to turn a profit? This is how. The analytics and understanding of consumer behavior is precisely how we are able to deliver a movie a day for $9.95 a month to 2 million subscribers. What we will do is turn your data into valuable marketplace information so that we and everyone we work with can create the best possible experience for audiences, studios, and exhibitors. Our members will always have the option to choose the location-based services that are right for them today and in the future, whatever that means. Farnsworth privately admitted these representations were false. This is a major mess about privacy. It's annoying because we literally can't do any of it. March 12th, 2018, Lowe issued an email apology. He admitted that Moviepass does not track and has never tracked or collected data on the location of our members at any point when the app is not active, and does not use and has never used background tracking capabilities. Lowe claimed he was joking around when he stated otherwise. Later, they text each other, our stock is tanking on the letter that went out. They're saying the exact thing I was afraid of, that we are not a big data company, and we just admitted it in the letter. We got to get you on CNBC, start changing the narrative. They also lied and defrauded about the other sources of revenue. Tickets, concessions, advertisements. We already have deals in place. I don't think they did. We can also sell soundtracks, posters, movie-related products right from their phones. As soon as they're walking out of the theater, we'll contact them. We tested it, and 5 to 8% of people buy products from us. That's a good number. I don't think it was true. But they still did not actually have a plan to bridge the gap between the costs of goods associated with the unlimited plan and achieve profitability. So now that we have gotten into month 2 of our pricing model, we will need to create a plan on how to get from the usage level now to the desired profitable model in the future. This will be critical to have well-grounded assumptions in order to raise growth capital early in 2018. Then they announced January 9th, 2018, within 60 days, Moviepass will be self-sufficient. We're signing deals with studios, we have multiple revenue streams, we're getting discounts from exhibitors. The defendant knew the claim that they would be self-sufficient was materially false. There were a few deals that Moviepass had signed, but they could not close the company's multi-million-dollar weekly cash shortfall. They issued a joint press release to investors that announced for a limited time the subscription would be $6.95 per month. Moviepass has gained momentum in diversifying its revenue streams. I don't understand. You weren't making money at $9.95 a month, so you lower the price? I'm having heart palpitations thinking about running a business this way. With the current growth and support that we've seen, our studio and exhibitor revenues have motivated us to lower the price once again. They knew that lowering the price was not within Moviepass's ability to generate revenue, but rather needed to receive the full year subscription payments up front. So it was $6.95 a month, but you had to pay up front so that they could get the money up front, so that they could solve their cash shortfall problem. It's a Ponzi scheme in the form of a Moviepass card. They repeatedly, publicly assured investors that the usage of the unlimited plan would naturally decline over time as subscribers settled into predictable low rates of usage. To a point, that was probably true. The amount of reliance on that is what I think was fraudulent. Then in January 2018, they agreed to artificially reduce subscriber usage through behind-the-scenes tactics aimed at reducing the amount of money Moviepass spent buying movie tickets. I need your direction in order to give me time to impact cash flow needs. If we cannot get sufficient funding, I can slow down new sub-acquisition by reducing card shipments. So they stopped shipping the new Moviepass cards to new subscribers. Okay, so we will reduce new card mailings weekly by 60K, which will reduce burn starting in 2 weeks by 600K weekly, and in 5 weeks exceed 2 million lower weekly burn. Second, we are removing 15 AMC, Regal, and Cinemark that will reduce 500K weekly. Third, we will constrain usage of 10 plus users, probably saving 500 K weekly the next week. I guess they mean the usage of people who watch more than 10 movies a week or month or something like that. April 2018, they directed Moviepass employees to reset the passwords of the highest volume users to disrupt or slow their usage of the Moviepass app to buy movie tickets. One executive warned there is a high risk that this would catch the FTC's attention and the state attorney general's attention, because Moviepass would be targeting all our heavy users. They selected the top 2% of highest volume users for the password reset. Lowe then reconsidered and selected the 75,000 highest volume users, increasing the percentage to about 3.4%. Lowe also added the requirement that the top 7% of the highest volume users were required to verify their purchase by requiring them to take a picture of the movie ticket they purchased. Lowe's decision to dramatically expand the number of users prompted one executive to write, "Lol, project 2%, 7%, 11%, lol." The day after the password reset and ticket verification were implemented, Lowe texted Farnsworth to inform him that they were successful. "We think the tactics here we launched yesterday saved $400K. I was hoping for more. Today we will have less impact because within minutes Reddit posted a solution to resetting the password. We did, though, greatly expand the ticket verification, which reduces almost by one movie weekly for those in the program. You would have had a blast on the jet. Looks like fun. I hope you know how much I admire you. Every day I am more proud to be your partner on this mission." Yeah. Subsequently, they made more materially false and misleading representations that the first quarter reduction in subscriber usage was the result of a maturation of the subscriber base and a natural decline. In truth, the reduction was attributable to a forced reduction in subscriber usage, not a maturation of the subscriber base or natural cycle of use. They also lied to the SEC. The SEC asked, "Isn't it true that you were selecting the subscribers whose passwords would be reset based on the heaviest users of the Moviepass product?" Lowe says, "No. And of course, I had many people ask me, well, isn't that why you targeted those people? And that's absolutely not how those people got into that group. They got into the group because they were changing their phone more than what seemed reasonable over a short period of time." Lowe knew this was false. They targeted subscribers for ticket verification. He said, "Again, this is an imperfect science. We would look at various indicators and at least give us the belief that it was possible this individual was violating the terms and conditions." So the people like me who were using their Moviepass for the thing that they bargained for were actually accused of violating the terms and conditions and throttled. Lowe testified under oath that he did not turn off movie titles from the application to conserve the amount of cash they had to spend on movie tickets. When asked about representations he made in an SEC Form 10Q, he said, "I don't even know what Form 10Q is." He not only had knowledge of what 10Qs are, but he had specific knowledge about what he had corresponded in email with. Interesting. So then wire fraud, basically just using interstate communications to commit your fraud. And they have some examples here. The press releases. That's interstate commerce. Those are lies, so that's wire fraud. And they are set to be sentenced sometime in the future. Status conferences on March 21st for Lowe and July 10th for Farnsworth, so we won't hear a lot more until sometime after that about what their sentences are. If convicted, they each face a maximum penalty of 20 years in prison on each count. I'm imagining that by pleading guilty, they're going to be sentenced concurrently instead of consecutively, which means 20 years total, not 20 years each. So that's crazy. I had no idea why these people thought that they were going to succeed at this. Yeah, sure, you can probably fool a bunch of people by lying at first, but then it's going to catch up with you at some point. I don't know what they were thinking. This was way too public to try and defraud all these people. Way too obvious to even non-business types that this was a money-losing business, that this was a losing business, this was a bad business idea. Why would you go through with this? Obviously, they have executive compensation packages. I think they were hoping will disrupt on the front end and then figure it out later on the back end. But like so many other businesses that have instead been fraud conspiracies and sent people to jail, Bernie Madoff, Elizabeth Holmes, these people probably could more or less have done what they were doing if they had just done it in a slightly more honest manner. Probably didn't have to be entirely correct about all of their assumptions. There is room for business judgment and for business failure without it being fraud. Let me know what you think in the comments below of the Moviepass fraud and the fact that they just pled guilty and now will be sentenced to up to 20 years in federal prison.